Okay.
So let's start with the phase 3 of PGBP chapter. In phase 3, we are going to talk about expenses which are expressly disallowed. So these are the expenses which are incurred by assessee, maybe in the course of business, may not be in the course of business, but still government of India don't want to give them a deduction, give it as a deduction to the assessee. So one of majority of this we have already discussed in somehow directly or indirectly, but right now we are going to focus on section to section disallowances. The first provision, section 37 2b, advertisement with political party, we had discussed in section 37(1), if you remember. If you do any advertisement with political party, they consider it as a donation, and because it is a donation, is not allowed as a deduction under PGBP chapter, but you will get deduction under section 80GGB or 80GGC. Okay, in these two sections you will get the deductions if you complied with conditions which are given in 80GGB and 80GGC. And there is only one condition in 80GGB that speaks that donation must be any mode other than cash. Okay, it should not be in cash. Any mode other than cash is acceptable as a donation, as a deduction. But please understand, PGBP chapter will not give you deduction of any contribution or donation made to political party directly or indirectly. That's given in section 37 2b. The next section here is section 38, proportionate deduction. And this concept we have learned in section 32, where I had told you what if I'm using particular car. Okay, this example of car only I had given you. Okay, what if I'm using this particular car for personal as well as business purpose, and if that proportion is given in the question in the adjustment, then you know that business proportionate amount will be allowed as a deduction, whereas personal proportionate amount will be disallowed. Okay, it won't be allowed as a deduction. Next point. So itna easy hai. Okay, these notes are available on Elite Gurukul Telegram channel, and majority students are having with them now. So please take these notes. I'm not going to stop for giving you time to write down. So you can either, when you are watching this video lectures recorded, you can pause and then write it down. Okay, but please try to learn now. Example here: depreciation on car is 20,000 and other expenses on car, maybe repair expenses 10,000. So total expenses here, repair kind of expenses, total expense on car is 30,000. And as per adjustment in the question, it is given 1/3 of the car is used for personal purpose. Then you know that out of 30,000, 1/3 will be disallowed here, and only 2/3 will be allowed as a deduction. Only 2/3 will be allowed as a deduction. So this is one thing. Very simple example. I'm moving ahead. It's not that complicated to understand. Next one is section 40, point number 3 in disallowances. It is expressly known as inadmissible deduction. It is expressly known as inadmissible deduction. That means deductions which are expressly disallowed under income tax. First expenses out of this is my favorite section, section 40 Chotu A. I call it Chotu A because you can't call it 40A. When you call it 40A, it becomes this section, 40A. So this is not 40A. Either you have to call it 40 clause A. This is a section 40 clause A. With love, I call this particular clause, as you can see that heart is there. Student have also created heart. Okay. With love, I call this particular section as 40 clause A. Expenses expressly disallowed. You know this, that in income tax we don't get deduction of income tax. This is what I had discussed under section 37 subsection 1. There I told you direct taxes are not allowed as a deduction, whereas indirect taxes are allowed as a deduction, and penalty of direct as well as indirect is not allowed as a deduction. Do you remember this? This point we have discussed under section 37(1). Do you remember? Hello, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So keep replying me. I don't want to feel like a ghost, that I'm the only one here in car and speaking some nonsense things. Any expenditure incurred on which TDS was supposed to be deducted. This is what we have discussed in IFHP chapter section 25. Do you remember section 25, where I told you if any interest is paid outside India without deducting TDS, without deducting TDS was not deducted, so it will become disallowed. This is what is written in section 25 of IFHP chapter. Same point I'm telling you here. Same point I'm telling you here. Any expenditure incurred by the assessee without deducting TDS, when TDS was supposed to be deducted, and if payment is made outside India or to non-resident, it will disallow 100%. Okay, 100%. So if I have done some advertisement expenses through Google, okay, some advertisement expenses through Google or any foreign company, and I made payment of 10 lakh rupees to that particular company, commission, advertisement, work contract, anything. Okay, professional services, engineering services, consultancy services. So 10 lakh rupees was the amount of expenditure that I had incurred for business purpose. But as per TDS provision of Income Tax Act, I have to deduct TDS on this particular 10 lakh. If I don't deduct 10 lakh TDS on 10 lakh, the first consequences what going to happen is this: they are going to disallow this particular 10 lakh. That means they are not going to give me. I have incurred expenditure, but they are not going to give me any deduction. I have paid money, but they are not going to give me any deduction about this. They are deducting my, they are disallowing my 100% of expenses, but they are showing some kind of, relief, some kind of concession when I'm making payment to resident assessees where TDS was supposed to be deducted and I haven't deducted. So they are saying, okay, not 100% because it is a resident assessee, we will disallow only 30%. So if tomorrow Raj sir is paying me, Raj Academy is paying me 10 lakh rupees without deducting my TDS, if they are paying me 10 lakh rupees without deducting my TDS, then out of 10 lakh, 3 lakh rupees will be disallowed. Not 10 lakh, only 3 lakh rupees will be disallowed and 7 lakh will be allowed. 3 lakh disallowed, 7 lakh allowed. Because whenever you are making payment to resident, 30% of expenses will be disallowed. एकदम सिंपल है, याद रखो. रेसिडेंट को पेमेंट किया तो 30% disallowed, नॉन रेसिडेंट को पेमेंट किया तो 100% disallowed. This is what you need to remember. And ये जो 30% disallowed is happening, this will happen under clause section 40 clause A 1A. So this clause is also important. This clause is also important. So please try to remember with clause and subclause. Section 40A 1A, we call it section 40A 1A, section 40A 1A, section 40 clause A subclause 1A. 30% disallows. Why is it important? Because in articleship, in day-to-day practices, in day-to-day accounting, this is one of the regular clause that we hit. Okay, regular. It is regularly, section 40A 1A is a regular disallowance that you can find in any organization. But to understand this, you must understand the whole TDS chapter. So I'm not speaking much on this because we haven't covered TDS chapter 8. We will be covering soon. Now, please understand. So, in the year 1920 or in this month, my TDS was not deducted. So it will become disallowed. Okay. In June month, TDS was not deducted. So it will become disallowed. But in August month, okay, in August month, TDS was deducted and deposited. So it will become allowed. So what happened? Deduction should be allowed if a TDS is deducted and deposited subsequently. If later on TDS is deducted and deposited, then deduction will be allowed. In future date, deduction will be allowed. Presently, deduction will not be allowed. जिसका exception है, except ये bracket में लिख के रखना, except salary outside India. If you have paid salaries outside India, then once it is disallowed, it is permanently disallowed. But on all other expenses, you get deduction. You get deductions when you make your default good. तो जून महीने में default किया तो disallowed. In later days, if you made your default good, then you will get the deduction. So this was point number 3. This is point number 4. No, not point number 4. ये उसमें का ही hashtag है. इसमें का ये सब point 1 था. This is sub point 2. चलो आप लोगों ने absorb कर लिया, इतना समझ में आया? Have you understood this much? बोलो.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
चलो आगे चलते हैं. If you remember salary chapter, we have discussed something like this. There is employer, and this employer is giving employee lot of benefit, lot of non-monetary benefit. If you remember our discussion, lot of non-monetary benefit is given: house, car, medical facility, foreign tour facility, credit card facility, health club facility. In short, perquisites. In short, perquisites was given. And I had told you what is the purpose of doing this. So tax evasion. Obviously, tax evasion was the purpose. And later on, all these perquisites which were given in a non-monetary form was found by the income tax authorities. And income tax authority told this particular employee, you know what, all these perquisites are taxable. All these perquisites that you have taken in a non-monetary form are taxable. You know that 19 perquisites we have discussed. There are 19 perquisites which are taxable in the salary chapter. Can you tell me under which section? Perquisites are taxable under which section in salary?
17 2.
Taxable under section 17, subsection 2. Read with rule 3. So taxable, and you are supposed to pay approximately rupees 10 lakh rupees tax on all these values. Okay. And then employee was shocked. And you know, this employee was used to take the non-monetary salary, so he doesn't have money. So he called his employer and asked him, say, income tax department is asking me to pay 10 lakh rupees, but you know, employer, I don't have money. So why don't you go and pay the tax of 10 lakh rupees? So employer did not argue much. He went and paid the 10 lakh rupees tax on the behalf of employee. The moment employer pays 10 lakh rupees tax on behalf of employee, that 10 lakh again becomes perquisite of employee. Are you able to understand this? This was the liability of employee paid by employer. Any liability of employee paid by employer is also a perquisite. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes. So ये 10 lakh rupees जो employer ने अभी भरा, that has also become a perquisite, and because it has become a perquisite, there will be tax on this 10 lakh rupees again. There will be tax again tax. Why? Because this 10 lakh rupees is also perquisite. This time it might be 3 lakh rupees tax. So this cycle is never ending. Again, employer will pay this 3 lakh rupees tax. It will become perquisite in the hands of employee. Again, there will be tax. Again, it will be perquisite to the employee. Again, there will be tax. Again, there will be perquisite to employee. So this cycle is never ending cycle. So that to stop this particular cycle, what income tax have done is this: any tax paid by employer on non-monetary benefit of employee. Again, I'm repeating my sentence. Any tax paid by employer on non-monetary benefits of employee shall be exempt in the hands of employee. So this 3 lakh rupees perquisite which was paid by employer shall become exempt. Once it becomes exempt, it cannot become taxable again and again. I hope you understand this. So tax paid by employer is exempt in the hands of employee under section 10. So this is written in section 10. This is written in section 10. ये clear है? Smiley?
फोटोज घेऊन काढून तिचा हात.
Smiley तिचा आवाज येतोय.
सर माझं नव्हतं.
Okay. हाँ देखो मैं क्या बता रहा हूँ. Do you understand this continuous cycle? First of all, we need to break this cycle. एम्प्लॉय टैक्स भरेगा, एम्प्लॉय के हाथ में टैक्सेबल होगा. एम्प्लॉय टैक्स भरेगा, एम्प्लॉय के हाथ में टैक्सेबल होगा. वी नीड टू स्टॉप दिस. How they have stopped it? They said the moment employer pays this particular tax on behalf of employee, it will become exempt in the hands of employee and it will be disallowed in the hands of employer. Somebody has to pay tax, so it will become disallowed. So for employer, this is an expense, but this expense is disallowed. That means it will be added back to the profit of employer. It is not getting added to the income of employee. देखो मैं क्या बता रहा हूँ, सैलरी एम्प्लॉयर देता है, तो employer get deduction of the salary and it becomes taxable in the hands of employee. ये तुम समझो जरा ये point. Some student takes time to understand this particular point. मैं क्या बता रहा हूँ देखो. Usually employer pays salary to employee. So for employer it is a deduction under section 37. and for employee this is taxable salary. Salary ऐसे चलता है, salary का clear है. Employer will get deduction and employee will pay tax. Is it clear? ये point clear है.
Yes.
Employer का खर्चा, employee का income. Okay. Second point, what I said now, employer will pay tax on non-monetary benefit, tax on non-monetary perquisite given to employee. So this is also an expense to the employer, isn't it? This 10 lakh rupees is an expense to the employer and income to the employee. My tax is paid by my employer. Obviously, it is an income to me. Yes or no? Somebody is paying
Yes.
my obligation. Is it my income? Tell me. Hello. Is it my income? Somebody is paying my tax. Is it my income? Hello, guys. You guys are able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
What I'm asking you is very simple question. I am supposed to pay 10 lakh rupees tax on my income. My employer has paid that 10 lakh rupees tax. Is that my income? Is it a benefit to me?
Yes.
Obviously, yes. So usually it should become taxable in my hand as a perquisite. But income tax is saying, no, this should become exempt under section 10. And because it is exempt under section 10, employer should not get any benefit. Disallowed. ये देखो, यहाँ पे देखो, salary is taxable in the hands of employee, therefore employer get deduction. Okay, tax on non-monetary perquisite is exempt in the hands of employee, therefore employer is not getting deduction. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
that was the next point. So some people take time to understand it. This is what I was trying to explain you here. Next one. Yesterday only we have discussed clubbing provision. And I told you in a clubbing provision, this happens that to evade taxes, people appoint their spouses or relatives in their own organization. So if this is my organization, Ram Patil Associate, okay? Ram Patil and Associate, this is my CA firm. What will I do? You know, if I have to evade taxes, evade taxes means my objective is to reduce profit. My objective is to reduce taxable profit. How do I reduce my taxable profit? By increasing expenses. Okay. How do I increase my expenses? So I will hire my wife as my employee. So salary given to wife, commission given to brother, goods purchased from father. You understand? So we are showing a lot of payments to this related associates. Obviously, all these relatives are Likka. Likka means, hello, Likka means what? Internet connection is unstable.
Lower income class assessee.
Lower income class assessee, and the guy who is doing this evasion is Hikka, high income class assessee. By showing more expenses, he is trying to evade taxes. By showing more expenses, he is trying to evade taxes. Do you understand this?
Yes. Yes.
Now, assumption of income tax is usually people do this with a related party. Usually people do this with a related party. Hello, again I am repeating. Usually people are doing this with a related party. So what ICI will do, or what income tax will do, they will say, okay, determine the fair market value. So this calculator I had purchased from my related party. or this pen I have purchased from my related party. If this pen is available in the market for 500 rupees, I have purchased it from my related party for 5,000 rupees. A 500 rupees pen I have purchased for 5,000, so that I can debit 5,000 and claim more expenses, so my profit will be reduced. This is a tax evasion we do. A salary to wife who is ordinary become who is already become kind of candidate. So salary should be fair market value of the salary should be 20,000 maximum, but we are paying 1 lakh rupees. We are paying 1 lakh rupees to show more expenses. Now please understand one thing here. Whatever is excess here, how much is excess? 500 goods, 500 rupees worth goods I'm purchasing for 5,000. Excess is 4,500, and here 20,000 rupees fair market value of the salary, but we are paying 8 lakh, 1 lakh rupees. So 80,000 rupees is the excess. This excess shall be disallowed. This excess shall be disallowed under section 40, under section 40 capital A, section 40A subsection 2. 2 matlab relative, दो relative, run the relative. Okay, 40A2. 40A2 means you should understand related party. They are talking about related party. The point here is this: only excess is disallowed. The point here is excess is disallowed. Now my Mumbai students, okay, you please tell me, I told you this is the tan theta. Okay, if you do this with a related party, then it is disallowed under section 40A2. What should you do then? What is sin theta divided by cos theta? I told you, if you do this kind of evasion with related party, there is a control mechanism under section 40A2 which will disallow. Okay, I'll show you question section also. So after reading the section, you might understand something. Payment, you have to tell me the tax evasion mechanism or tax loophole. Okay, section 40A2, payment to relatives. Any payment made to relatives, if it is a reasonable amount, it will be allowed. See, working with a relative is not a problem. Giving job to relative is not a problem. But giving them excess salary, paying them excess amount is a problem. So if it is a reasonable amount, no problem. If any unreasonable amount, beyond fair market value, beyond arm's length price, then only excess will be disallowed. This is the section 48, very simple section, and this is the tan theta of the section. Tan theta, meaning of relative. If it is an individual assessee, who are relative? Spouse, brother, sister, linear ascendant and linear descendant, LA and LD. You know this. Spouse, brother, sister, linear ascendant and linear descendant. We have discussed all these things in IFOS chapter, income from other sources. Okay. For firm, who are relative? Partners and their relative. For HUF, who is relative? Members and their relative. For company, who is relative? Directors and their relative. For any other person who is relative, a person who holds substantial interest, and you know substantial interest means 20% or more. This is what we have discussed in IFOS. Can you tell me possible tax evasion even after teaching you this section? Can you tell me possible tax evasion? Tell me.
Payment in cash.
Payment in cash will be controlling next particular point. So there is a tax control on cash. You already know that, no? 10,000 ke upar you cannot make cash payment. What else? Tell me what else? Chat में किसी ने कुछ लिखा है? नहीं.
Other than relative.
Yes, Tai. Other than relative, you should make. See, you can do this payment to non-relative, and relative means this is a relative means definition of relative. That means they are considering your spouse, your brother, your sister, and your alien LD only relative. So here you are not having some of the relatives. I'm telling you, your uncles, aunties, mama, mommy, then your cousins. You understand? So this is a related, very precise definition of relative they have given. So you can use your friends, your employees, your business associates to do this kind of things where you show more expenses and then you take cash from them. This is how they do tax evasion in the market. And therefore, as an auditor, you should not only know that they SECs are doing tax evasion by using relative. Sometimes they use even non-relative to evade taxes. Okay, so this is what you must understand, and that scope is still given by the section because section have given definition of relative in means term. Okay, so this is how it is written. The next section you already know. The next section you already know. Any payment exceeding 10,000 rupees must be made in 4 ways. First, account pay check. Second, account pay by way of this by way of any payment more than 10,000. Any payment more than 10,000 should be made by account pay check. Second, account pay draft. Third, ECS. And fourth, you have to do notified electronic transaction. Notified electronic transaction. You know these 4 words. Okay. If any payment, any aggregate payment more than 10,000 to a person in a day, has to be made, then it must be in account pay check, account pay draft, ECS, or other notified electronic transfer. Then only it is allowed. If you have made it by cash, bearer check, cross check, okay, any other mode, so it should be disallowed. Okay, cash, cross check, bearer check should be disallowed. And how much it is allowed? If I made payment 18,000 in cash, so how much it disallowed? Can you tell me? If I make payment 18,000 in cash, how much it disallowed? Jaldi bolo. Yeah, I made payment 18,000 cash. How much it disallowed?
18,000.
Full 18,000. So what is the difference between 40A subsection 2 and 40A subsection 3 is this. If you make payment, excess payment than fair market value in section 48(2), then only excess is disallowed. Whereas if you make payment more than 10,000 in cash, in 48(3), the full amount is disallowed. Okay, the full amount will be disallowed. Up to 10,000, there is no problem. You up to 10,000, you can pay in cash, you can pay in bearer check, you can pay in cross check. That is your choice. Up to 10,000, we don't have any problem. More than 10,000, it must be in 4 mode. Okay, this is to control black economy, and this is what I have already taught you. Now, please understand there is a loophole here. This is a tan theta. This is a tan theta. Can you see sin theta divided by cos theta? See the unseen. See the unwritten. Try to interpret. Is there a loophole in this section? Bolo.
Payment made to 2 different person.
Yes, this particular disallowance will apply. Look at the note. This section 40A subsection 3 is applicable to each payment separately. However, if a different payments are made to the same person on the same day, so ये दो word देखो, to the same person on the same day, then the restriction of 10,000 will be applicable on aggregate amount. To explain this loophole, I have told you this. Please, देखो, on 11/10/2019, Mr. RP, you made payment of 10,000, and Mr. A, same day but two different person. Same day different person. Allowed or disallowed? जल्दी बोलो. वैसे तो business ने आज payment 20,000 का किया है, but 10,000 to a person.
Allowed.
Allowed. Both allowed, right? Hello. Both allowed.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So likewise, you can make even 5 lakh rupees payment in a day in cash. How, sir? You have to bring 50 different people. That's all. Next. But sir, I have to make payment to one person only. I have to make payment only to Mr. RP, and he is asking for 50,000 rupees cash. Can I give it on same day? Answer is no. So what will you do? You will give the cash to the same person on a different day, 10th October, then 12th October, 13th October, 14th October, is it allowed?
Yes.
Yes. But if you make payment to same person at 10 a.m. 9,000 and 5 p.m. 8,000, now how much will be disallowed? जल्दी बोलो, log out होने वाला है.
Whole amount.
Full amount. So this is what is aggregate. Here aggregate will apply. Here summation will apply. If you make payment to a person in a